Tina. Hi, or Anita. I'm feeling pretty good today. Um, my back still gives me twinges every once in a while, but it's nothing big dealish. So we're gonna work on hair barrettes today. I forgot to put my earrings on. Oh well, I'll live. Um, I do need for my new show to fill my barrette boxes. I need one extra large, two large, three medium, a small, and an extra small. So I got a whole bunch I need, though I don't think we're going to get to that many today, obviously. Probably going to get to 3 or 4, maybe just 3. Beth, have you started your YouTube channel yet? That's a very good question. I was thinking you were supposed to start it at the beginning of the month, but I haven't seen anything, Beth. Let us know. We're curious minds want to know what's going on. So I have got some new pieces painted. Let's turn down and I'll show you what I am. Hey Renee, welcome in. I will let you know what I forgot what I was going to say. Well, obviously it wasn't that important. As my mom used to say, if it was important, you'll remember it. If it wasn't important, then forget about it. So, let's turn down. I'll show you some of the new pieces that I painted that are Christmassy yesterday. Well, I painted some that are just fall too, but let's turn down. We'll look at them. Hey, Donna. So here we go. There's our mat. Some of the new pieces I painted were a couple of wreaths. These are one of my things I definitely get for Christmas. One of the other things I get at Christmas time are, come on little guy, come out of there, reindeer, some little deer. So I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with these. I was debating. I had still have these snowmen left that we didn't use from when we made the hair combs. So I was debating putting, get back here in this box, a snowman on either side of one of the wreaths, like so. The other option is I also have, instead of using the wreath with the snowman, we could use a, oh, come here, a moon and star. But I'm leaning towards the wreath. I think I like that better. Hey, Heather, welcome in. And Miranda. Hey, Tina. So the crowd's, the gang's all going to be here soon. So I'm leaning towards putting the wreath between the two snowmen for one of them. So that could be one hair barrette. I have to figure out which size I want it to be and then get some base pieces. Now, I painted this lighthouse, though I'm not real pleased with it because it got the yellow bled some that I had put in the windows. But it'll probably be going anyway. So I'm going to put the moon on one side of the lighthouse, and then we have two little reindeer, or deer, whatever you want to call them, for the other side. So we'll sit like this. Since this is fingernail polish and it doesn't need to be sprayed as much, I could touch up the yellow, and so that it was, the white was more standoffish. On the other hand, a lot of unfortunately, a lot of lighthouses aren't taken care of as well as they should be, and they got messy paint all over them. So that is number 2 designed. And then number 3 is a fall one rather than a Christmas one. And I've got these fall leaves. I'm going to put them on either side like this. And can we see that? Yes. And then I have a squirrel and 2 acorns. Oops, the acorns are sticking a little bit to the tray. They must not have been quite dry when I brought them in. So put the acorns down here. So now I have some more reindeers painted. I also have another squirrel, some more acorns, and some more fall leaves. And so we also have all the things that we hadn't ever used prior to now that are in my other trays. See, I have all kinds of little odds and ends that I have painted and we haven't used yet. So some dragons and lots of leaves and such here. So I still have a sunflower in here too that we haven't used. It's another dragon. So we have all kinds of leaves in different colors. We have dragons, suns, and there's frogs and horses and butterflies down here. And here we have some flowers and some more frogs, dragonfly or two. So we have all kinds of goodies already painted. But I'm concentrating more on what the Christmassy like things or the fall things. So we're going to go with these 3 for right now. Hey, Cynthia. Tina. Hey, Dawn. So what we're going to do is we're going to decide which size these should be. This one has to be at least a large, but I'm leaning more towards an extra large for this one so we have plenty of room. So this one will probably be extra large. We'll need to get some base pieces for it. Then I think a large for this one. And probably a large for this one as well. So those are what we're going to concentrate on right now. I'm going to put these pieces to the side so they're not in my way. These other blanks. We also, I'm not sure. I was going to make these into earrings, but we might be able to use those big giant snowflakes for a hair barrette. But let's get our mat out. Because we always want to glue and paint on our silicone mat so we don't have to worry about getting paint or glue on our regular mat, even though I painted something the other day and did get some paint on it. See right here? Stripe of paint there. So let's take this stuff all to the mat. I'm putting these in individual trays so we won't get them all mixed up on what's what. There's our silicone mat. Now, if you buy a silicone mat, I got these from Amazon, and I think they were $3. I don't remember how much. It's been a long time since I got them. But they came in 3 different colors. And frankly, I just cut them in half. They're too big. The whole thing is really pretty good sized. So I just cut them in half to make sure we have plenty. So now I need to get my base pieces out. The screen looks like it's got a heartbeat, which is ridiculous because there shouldn't be trying to refocus. Everything is sitting there, just focused. Stop. It's probably the shininess from the barrette piece. So I have a whole bag of filigree pieces that I just gather wherever I see something I think I might like to use. These are hummingbirds. They're not filigree in this package. This one does have them. This is one I like to use. Okay. I have a ton of things here, so I'm sure we can figure out something to use. Those are my hummingbirds. They need to go back in. I should paint some hummingbirds because they're always really popular. So we need some base pieces. These 2 are some of my bigger pieces here. And since we're going to go for an extra large, we might want the bigger piece. That's more hummingbirds. Get them out of the way. What we're doing here is now just deciding on a base we want to use for these pieces. Now, these are good sized, so they'll go across the large one like so with no problem with just the 2. So the thing I need to decide is if I'm going to be happy with these 2 with my fall leaves one. Let's move these all over here so they're not in the way so much. So these will overlap. I will cut this last little knob off here just because it's I'm not going to connect it to anything, and I'm not planning on putting a crystal on here. So we're going to cut those off. And Where'd I put my file? There it is. File the sharp edges we just made down. Still has one. There we go. So these will overlap across the top like this. And then they'll go sit down like this. Then we'll have our you here, you here. Squirrel will go in the middle. And then we'll have our 2 acorns. Now these guys will have to have their little loops cut off as well. The acorns are no big deal. You just trim them right over the top. So this one's going to sit just like this. So this one is decided on what we're going to do for its base piece. Oh, where's my little package of, or my little dish of, there they are. Come here, you guys. I'm going to need you guys. But I don't need all the other odds and things that I got in this tray. So get out. My clothespins. I use my clothespins to hold my base pieces down until they dry a little while. 1 acorn, 2 acorn, and now we have to get the loop off of the squirrel, which is a little harder to do because it's down in there ways. We'll file it down some so it's not looking so rough. Got to be careful when you're filing the squirrel though, because you just cut it's close to the ears. You don't want to file your ears off. So that baby's all ready to go. And you know what I think what we're going to do is we're going to take and start this one. And then while it dries for a while before we put our little pieces on, we'll start the next one. So I think that will be the easiest thing to do. So now the easiest way to do this is you've got to bend these. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you like painting, Beth. It's fun. I do sometimes. This lighthouse is painted with nail polish because when you spray the spray on the acrylic paints on white, for some reason it just wipes right back off. I don't know why. It only seems to happen much with the white, but it does. So I've discovered that you can use nail polish and it works really good. The biggest problem with using nail polish is it's much thicker. It's not as easy to direct. So it can be a problem. And it will bleed when you put other stuff with it sometimes. So I just bent these to give them a curve so they'll match and of course they won't right off the bat. So what I'm going to do is place this where I want it. I'm going to check to see how big of a gap. See, I have a gap down here. So I'm going to bend this back up just a hair's breadth. And that's sitting pretty fine right there. See how there's not much gap right there now? Now, remember, this is this side, so I got to leave it over here because this side has now got a gap too, and I've got to get this one back down to where it needs to be. And that looks pretty good. So then these are going to glue on. They're going to go lap over top of each other. And I'm going to put some tiny little clothespins on to make sure they hold in place until so that dang it, these usually try to get the glue out of the threads before I thread these, but I haven't been doing a very good job of it lately because the last one I couldn't even get open. This one doesn't seem to want to open now either. Come on, baby, open up. Just give me a little twist so I can get you open. There we go. Once I get it started, it's pretty fine. It's easy, but it's the getting it started to go. E6000 likes to have its own self stuck together too. So just put glue all along your base here. You know, I started making hair barrettes because I couldn't find any I really liked, or if I did find one, that was the only one. You know, there didn't have any extra stuff. So now we're going to close this temporarily because we're going to have to put a little glue. We're going to put this in place. Then we got to decide how much more glue. I'm probably getting off screen, aren't I? I need to put, and it's just a little bit. So I need just a little bit right here across this bit right here, because this is where it's going to overlap the other one. We'll close that up. Now we want to check to make sure we're where we want in the back side. See, we are pretty good there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a paper towel because I'm getting glue on my fingers. But there's nothing new about that. I always get glue on my fingers when I'm gluing hair barrettes. We're going to get some of these little clothespins. And yes, these are reused, so some of them are sticking together. And I'll have to, one of these days, go through and unstick them. Sometimes they won't unstick. The glue sticks really well, and I have to end up throwing them away. But this is the way it goes. At least they're not expensive. You can get them at Walmart or the Dollar Tree for about, I think, well, of course, at Dollar Tree, they're like about $1.25 for a package. But I'm going to put 2 up here at the top to make sure these stay together here. So now we're going to set this aside, bring this one forward, and we'll set these pieces aside too, because this is the squirrel. Now, could I put some of these pieces on right now? Yeah, I could. In fact, I could probably put both of the big leaf pieces on, but they're not bent to shape. So I'm going to have to bend them a little bit, but they don't have to bend a lot because they're this trio of leaves instead of a big one. And I'll probably just bend them by hand. But it does need to bend down some more here. See, there we go. That one can go right there. And then the other one goes on the other side. Now, some of these brass pieces like this one bend relatively easily by hand. Others are a little bit heavier and stiffer, and you'll have to bend them with the bender. Now that's a bracelet bender in case anybody's interested in knowing what that is that I bent with. It's from Beadalon. It's just called a bracelet bender. So we can glue, actually we can glue these two pieces on. So let's go ahead and do that right now before we start with the other, because then it gives it a little time to dry before we put the last couple of things on. Was I off camera? I was afraid I was. So I will try and move this up a little bit so I'm not off camera. I have my second mat here. So right here down at the bottom, it's placed in a way so that I try to keep that there so it helps me to stay on camera. And of course this mat's bigger than that, so I'm off. So now we will put glue everywhere on these leaves. They don't need a whole ton because they're going to be relatively flat. Oops, I'm knocking my squirrel out of its dish. And we're just going to plop it down into place here. We'll do the same on the other side. Now, if these slide around a lot, you can put a pin on them too, but you got to watch if you put a pin on some of these pieces that you're gluing down, the decorative pieces, one side will pop up. So you'll need a pin on either side. And sometimes it's hard to do because they're placed in a place where they don't want to, where it's hard to get two pins on. So. Now, you are going to get glue on your hands. It's a given if you're doing something like this. I do suggest if you don't want to get glue on your fingers, actually, once this dries, it'll peel off your fingers relatively easily. It's sort of rubbery, and just wiggle it, and it just sort of, see how it sort of globbed up right there? So let's get you scooshed down into place. So this now can be set aside. Now see how I was saying how this one's sticking up just a little bit? So what you want to do if that happens is you get a pin for the top part, and then the bottom part, of course, is going to stick up just a little bit more because it's got that pressure on it. So you need another pin to come up and try and grab somewhere along here to hold some more down on this side. So that's going to hold down there. And we're going to stick this guy aside with his squirrel and his acorns. We'll put those on later. We're going to get the next tray out. And we can either work on let's work on the wreath and the snowman, because this one's going to be simple. This one has no loop, so I don't have to cut it off, but it is more solid. And so we're going to have to take the bracelet bender. I was going to say, where did I put it? It's right here. And we're going to need to bend it a little bit. Not a lot, so don't push it a lot, just a little bit until you figure out if that's enough or not. So, and the snowman, because these are enameled pieces, they're not going to want to. So don't worry about it. Don't try and bend enameled pieces very much, because if the enamel isn't set in there just so, the enamel will pop off when you bend them. So that's something you got to think about if you're going to use some of these enamel type pieces, is that they will break. So now I've got those cut, so I need to file the tops of them. Now these are made so they sort of look like a Christmas bulb, so I could have just left that ring up there, but I didn't feel like it. Now these particular little snowmen I got from Auntie's Beads, in case anybody's interested in that. You can use any type of little charm and things with these. Oops, that's got a sharp spot. We don't want a sharp spot. So this one have a sharp spot. Okay. So now we need to decide what we want for its base. And these will probably go back into here, but what I want to do first, see, I bent this a little bit, see how it's bagged up just a little bit, but not too much. So I think it'll be fine the way I have it bent right there. So these guys can probably go back in their tray. We got to figure out a base for this one. Now, I did see so this could be could be the base, but let's see how it looks with our wreath on it. Oh, that looks fine. And then the snowman would go on either side here. And we're going to have another little piece because obviously this piece does not cover the whole of our bracelet. So, and I might just put, since this has like a flower center here, I might put a crystal in here. We'll see. So now I know I had some small pieces here. What did I do with them? There's these guys, but are they going to be big enough? Let's find out. If we put this here in the center, yeah, these will be fine. So we'll take a couple of these little black filigree, gunmetal filigree here. They call them black oxidized. Same thing. Hey, Sid. Hey, Debbie. Beth, these are all different prices. I don't have a particular price. Just like anything else, I add up how much it cost me and then either do time or ×4, just like everything else. So they tend to run from, like, if I have just simple pieces in them, they run from $8. It used to be $5, but the pieces have gotten more expensive. So they run from about $8 to, if they're really got a lot of stuff in them or stuff that's expensive, like I have some charms that are over $4 a piece, then they run as high as 30 some dollars sometimes. And people buy them because those are the really pretty ones because they got a lot of more intricate pieces in them. But one of my more intricate one has a bison in it, or bears, and the bigger, I have small bears and big bears. The small bears aren't atrocious, but the big bears are. My bison cost me $5, my big bison, so I tend to be a little more. But yeah, it's just like, I just price them like anything else, with how much did it cost me to make them, and ×4 or ×2 in time. Because these are multiple steps, I don't usually do time because it would mean keeping track of a lot of stuff. So we're going to put this on here. Where's your tray? Yes, I don't think we'll be able to get these things on. Well, I might be able to get the wreath on. We'll see. Go over here. You're in the way. So we're going to put the glue on. I got too much crud out here. It's getting in my way. I should just pick the ones for the other one and just put the rest of this stuff away so it's out of the way. Now I'm just going to do this right now. I know that this is where it's going to overlap, so I'm going to just put the glue here on both edges here. Get its lid on before a whole bunch more glue comes out. Now this can sit still for just a minute here. We'll put these guys on. Now flip it and put this on where it belongs. Come on, get back over here where you belong. Okay. Oops. Come on, slide over that way just a little bit. You're a little bit crooked. There we go. How many of you guys wear hair things? I wear, every once in a while, I'll wear hair sticks if I put my hair up in a bun. I definitely wear my hair barrettes because that's what I started making these for, was myself. And then I don't wear hair combs, but I do make hair combs. And the reason I do is because people asked me to make some, so I did. So you can go here. And don't go sliding off there. Okay, so I tend to make these be right-hand twists. In other words, that means you open it up and you put it in with your right hand. Now I have occasionally made an error and accidentally put these upside down so that it ends up being a left-hand twist. And I've got, excuse me, some customers who actually want that other the twist the other way. So if they show up at any of my booths, I always say, well, that one's a left-hand twist if you want that. Oh, remind them of the trick of keeping hair barrettes in if you have hair that slides. You got this. You got this, and you push these together, and it opens. This is called the binder bar. Put a strip of hot glue across the binder bar. You could probably even use E6000, but it takes longer to dry. When it's dry, it dries a little rubbery. And then because of that rubberness, it won't slide out of your hair as easily. Hey, Dorothy. So we're going to glue the wreath on, and because of where it's sitting, we don't need it up here by any glue up here by the bow or these first two sets of leaves, and the same with down here. We don't need it on this bottom set of leaves. So where we're gonna put it is just through these three sections right here. You can put it in the other spots too, but the thing is, the glue won't have anything to hold on because there's nothing below it. And then you're going to have that glue needs to dry, or it's going to be really sticky when you touch it. So we're going to put this guy right here. And now we're going to set this one aside so that these pieces can dry, and then we'll put the snowman on, and we'll get a crystal to put in the middle. Maybe a big red one for like a red berry or something. Or it could be green. We'll decide. So now this one can sit aside. And now we got our lighthouse, our deer, and our little moon. You get mesmerized watching me make these, Sid. Definitely ask, Tina. I mean, I don't know what you're concerned with, but definitely ask us. I mean, everybody here is more than willing to help others. So you've been having bladder trouble. A Botox shot? Never heard of that. Oh, I hear you. I go to the bathroom a lot since I've had kidney problems. You're having a Botox shot on your bladder. I've never heard of that being done before. I hope it's not really painful or something like that. I would think, I don't know, Tina. I haven't ever heard of that. Ladies, anybody else heard of that? Some type of device. Well, my husband has problems with his bladder occasionally. He gets kidney stones bad, and then he also has oops, dropped a package. Where'd it go? I didn't hear it fall into the ground, but it's not on my lap either. There it is. So he takes special medication, but I can't say that I've ever heard of Botox before. It's interesting. I always thought Botox was a little weird anyway, because if you the Botox shot helps. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, me too, Dorothy. I think that's part of it, getting older. The control is not as good as it used to be. But what my husband's is his won't empty all the way, so he feels like he has to go a lot of the time because his bladder is tipped on its side some, and so I'm not I hadn't heard of it, but hey, it sounds like some of the other ladies have and that it works good. So always good to know. So we're gonna figure out our lighthouse here. Cut the tip off of my lighthouse. The deer are a little more tricky because number one, they're smaller, and number two, the loop is right in their antler. So gotta twist it a little bit here to get it out. That's not the prettiest cut, but we'll sand it down, file it down some. So anyway, I hope it works for you, Tina. Yeah, me too sometimes, Dorothy. It's always so embarrassing too, isn't it? It's like, oops. Pee when you sneeze. Yep. Especially when I had my kidney infection. And I'm not sure it's entirely gone because every once in a while I get a little pain in it, but in the other hand, it's not debilitating anymore. So but yeah, pee a lot. Okay. Okay, those guys are ready to go on as soon as I decide what we're going to do. I was thinking silver, but I'm thinking because this is lighthouse and it's more nighttime, so to speak, we may go with some bronze. Come on, Pizza, come out. Come on, come on, come on. This is true, Beth. We do share more with other people than we do with we do share more with ourselves than we do with other people quite frequently. So I'm thinking this like this. Then the lighthouse would go down the center here. Oops, come on, lighthouse, go in the center. Oh, am I off again? Probably. Up here. With the moon on one side and the deer on the other. Where did I get this fuzzy from? Must have been from the mat. So we'll have little deer on this one side the lighthouse, and the moon. So there is the other one. So let's put our little pieces aside. Get these pieces bent and glued on, and then we'll go back to working on the squirrel again because it should be plenty dry enough to work on again. To take its pins out and off and put the other pieces on. Now, as I say, these are multiple step things because you have to do first. First, of course, you got to decide what you want to put on it, as far as the background pieces and the filigrees, and this is too big. And then you have to do the first step of putting the first layer on. This is good, like this. Then bend them and get the first layer put on in place. And then pin them, let them dry for at least 15 to 20 minutes so they're set a little bit so you can work with them again without everything sliding every which way. And then once that next step is done, then the step after following that is to put your decorative pieces on. And you have to pin stuff. And then you wait another 15-20 minutes, see if you've got any excess glue on that you need to yank off, because sometimes you do. So now a lot of people ask me where I get my brass pieces that I paint. I get those from Time and Materials, etc. Or is it ink? I think the original one was ink. One of the ladies got cancer that was doing it, so she retired and left the rest of the business to her partner, and the partner changed the name a little bit just to distinguish what was going on. So it's Time and Materials, etc. now. Okay, so we want more or less this heart-like shaped place here has to have be glued. So anyway, Time and Material. It's on Etsy. I'm sure if you just put in Time and Materials, it would show up. I was going to bring one of the business cards in here so I could show you for sure which one it was, and I spaced doing that out. Naughty me. I missed the beginning of the interview with you and Beating Besties, Renee, but I did watch the end and the last of it. And you'll definitely, if you ask a question in our groups, we'll help. I mean, if you need an assistance with something, if something's just not working the way you think it should, anything like that, just let the group know, ask for help, and you'll get it. Sometimes more than you need. But we're all more than happy anyway in these bunches, me and Heather and Randy, we're all more than happy to give people any help that they need. You got a question? Ask. We're more than willing. Anyway, I know my group here is more than willing to help a person out with a question. If you have you're something you're not sure of that you've been creating and you need a little bit of inspiration or help saying, well, which one do you like better? Like Beth the other day put in 2 different earrings. Well, they were the same earring, but they had different dangles. And she was like, which one, guys? Which one do you like best? And we, of course, answered her because that's what we do, you know. We help each other. And that's what this is all about, is giving everybody a helping hand if they need one. Oh, come on. There's one. And flip to this one. So anyway, these are just baby clothespins. Like I said, you can get them in Walmart. They're in the craft section in Walmart, by the way. And you can get them in at the Dollar Tree. I think, again, it's probably in the craft section. What does everybody need to know about from Dorothy? I must have missed something. Hey, Carolyn. Oh, speaking of the Jamaica hurricane, Dorothy, you had family down there, didn't you? How did they fare? Are they all right? So now we'll set this one aside. We'll bring this one back forward again. And we have our squirrel and our acorns to put on. And this one will be more or less finished. We're going to pull our pins off now. You see there's a little bit of glob of glue right there. And we'll test to see if they're wiggling at all. They seem pretty set. Now, they aren't set. It takes 24 hours for them to really be set. But they're set enough that we can work with them without having to worry about trashing what we have got done out. But see, these have these little blobs of glue right here. I'm gonna get hold of those with my tweezers. Now, if you try to do this too soon, the glue will be too wet and will just glob up on you and make a mess. But if you wait the 20 minutes to a half hour, it will come off in little blobs. And I think that's the only places I'm really worried about, though I did see a runner right here. By a runner, I mean a little blob of glue that has decided it wants to make a little strip of glue across. I don't know, Beth, I don't know. I don't count them. But I have answered you when you've asked me about something. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. So now we're going to put our little squirrel on and our acorns, and the squirrel's going to go right here in the middle. Oh, come on, you. Get your little butt where it belongs. So it's going to sit right there. And then we've got 2 little acorns, and we're going to put those right here at the base. Now, these are hard to handle because they're tiny, and they're gonna try and wiggle all over on you. So sometimes it's easier to place these and glue them by using a pair of tweezers. So they'll go like so. So now I have to glue these and put them in place, and then this one is done. Oh, you enjoyed the videos on the making the Barbie jewelry? Cool. You know, my daughter is too old, is in her 40s now, so she doesn't play with Barbies anymore, and I know a lot of us don't, but there are, I mean, have children that are young enough to play with them, but there are a lot of us that have granddaughters. Now, my granddaughter's 20 some years old, so I don't have, she's actually studying to be a doctor. But yeah, it's definitely this Randy and I have discussed it many times how you give somebody the same beads, a whole bunch of designers the same beads, and we'll come up with different things, every one of us. And so we always think it's sort of funny. I'm going to pull these little acorns off now. And instead of putting the glue on the acorns, I'm just going to put a dab of glue where I want the acorns to sit. Now see, this E6000 is drying and it just made a mess. I'm going to have to do some cleanup there. This one I didn't quite get enough. Well, maybe I got more than I thought. Didn't intend to make a mess so that we'd have to clean it up, but I just did. But the acorn is going to go here. And we'll flip this guy back over to this right way. And he will go here. Oops, got glue on the top. So there's what it's looking like. I do need to clean this up when it dries some, but other than that, this one is done. So, and this one is my extra large. See how big that guy is compared to my hand? So this is the extra large one. These other two we made are going to be larges. So they're a little bit smaller. I'll turn one of these over and so we can compare them. So see the difference between the extra large and the large in size there? So the extra large will take a lot more hair, but so anyway, we are going to need to clean that glue up a little bit since I got a little too much there. So we'll set him aside. We're going to grab this one now, and we're going to pull our pins off. This one lost some glue right here. Oh, and incidentally, always pull the glue off your tweezers when you're done. Because if you don't, it's going to stay there. It really adheres well to metal, and it will stay there. See how that was pulled out there, though? So, but don't even think you can pull that out if it sits more than like 6 hours. I have some too. My husband buys me one for Christmas, a holiday one. And so then I hate their jewelry that they come on because it's just plastic crap and it looks horrid. And if I'm going to pay like $40, $50 for a doll, or my husband, because he gets some for me for the holiday Barbie, which is pretty spendy. And if I'm going to have a doll that costs that much, it's going to have nice jewelry. I don't care. It's going to have nice jewelry, so I can make it its new for it. So now that we've got the glue cleaned up, this guy's on, we're going to put our snowmen on either side. Sit still, baby. So he's going to sit here. And over here. And then I'm going to get a red or green crystal. Could even get purple because my bow is purple. And we're going to put a big red or big colored crystal right there in the middle. Let's see. Oh, that's orange. Blue. I don't think the green, I don't think it will be bright enough. I want some, well, green would be bright enough, but I want the contrast of red. There we go, there's my red. So, what we're going to go for, I think, though I do have purple in here too. Could put one of these purple, it would match the bow. Oh, the very first time I was watching, you were watching me, I was making the Barbie jewelry. So we can go with a bright red, or we could go with a purple that would match the purple. Let's see what they would look like. I'll just pull one of each out. Come on, I want that big one. Purple. Can you guys see that? Okay, that's the purple one. Purple's not bad. I'll leave it out here on the mat in case we decide to go with that one. Now we have a big bright red one here. Ooh, come back here, you. Stubborn thing. And there's red. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I'm thinking red. So this is the red one. Come on, let me get hold of it. Oh, this purple one's bigger. It's not fitting quite in the hole as well, which means I need the next size down for it to fit better. Let's see. Is this the right size? I think it is. So there's the purple. You agree with me, the red? Everybody agrees with me for the red. Okay, red it is. I have a whole drawer over here of flat back crystals that haven't been put in their little cases, and I really need to do that because it's an unholy mess in there. It's one of those things maybe that I will have to do this winter when the shows are done. Okay, now we need to put our snowman on and our little red crystal on. So little red crystal, just going to drop a glue right there in the hole. Then we'll get our snowman glued and put in place. Now the snowmen have a bit of a concave, so you need to put a little more glue in so it fills the hole up. Otherwise it won't sit down right. Now I know I've left that glue sitting there, and that's all right. It can dry for a little while and it won't hurt anything. There's our snowman, our wreath, and where's my tweezers? We need to get our little red crystal up and in that glue. So now this one is ready to sit and dry for a while. Oh, I do notice a bit of glue right here. We're going to pull out. There we go. So yes, I do enjoy making these. They're fun. So lastly is our lighthouse one. And our lighthouse, the lighthouse itself is going to go through the middle here. So let's get our pins off. See if this one I don't think we let dry as long because I'm not sure when we finished putting it together, but it's pretty sturdily in place, so that's all right. You know, sometimes when I make these, I just decide, well, you know, it just needs, you know, I might just leave it just like this without the charms and the pretties on it, but I'll put crystals on it instead to give it a little bit of the squirrel one. Oh, I'd have to figure it out, Dory. I didn't, well, I could probably figure it out in a little bit. So get our lighthouse down the middle here. It would look pretty in your hair, wouldn't it, Dorothy? So the lighthouse is going to go right here. And in all actuality, it wants to stick up some because it's got these bumps right here. So I think maybe I'll pull it over to this side a little bit instead of having it sit straight in the middle so that it doesn't raise up from those bumps entirely like that. So then our moon. We'll go over here. And our reindeer will go over there. Now I do have 6, is it 6 I have painted? Yes. So if I decide that 2 little reindeer on this side are not enough, that it just doesn't balance out enough, I can add another reindeer or 2. Though frankly, they're just regular deer, if you really want to be technical. I say reindeer because this is supposed to be for Christmas time, but when it comes right down to brass tacks, they're just deer. So there's our moon. And I probably will need to pull a little glue out right there, it looks like. And then we'll put our 2 little reindeer, and we may need a 3rd one. We'll see. 1. Okay, sit up straight so we can see how you look here. 1, 2. Go up there, down here, you'd go right there. No, you would have to go over here a little bit more. Stay. Okay, do we want 3 reindeer over here or just 2? I'm sort of leaning towards at first I was thinking, 2 will be fine because the moon is right there. If we move this one up here further and then put this one here. But if we move you, come on, stay put. It's hard to get him to stay put with no glue. We could put him up here. Okay, so I've got more votes for 3. So we're going to clip this last one, clean his antlers up, and we'll start putting these guys on. This last one will go right up here. But we'll get these 2 on first, and then we'll clip this one, fix this one, and get him on. Drizzling glue out of the thing already, so I better get it going here. Come on. And you got too much. No, go up there. Look, you made a mess out of my little deer. He's going to have some glue cleanup. That's all right. Get the right. Oh, that's because I put it back. And then this guy will go way up here towards the front. Dorothy suggests one by the moon. I'm not sure we have enough room to put one by the moon from where I put the moon at, Dorothy. I do have 3 more painted, so I could put another one in if we think another one will look good. But let's get this guy in place, and then we can see what we think. Okay, you sit down right. So there's our three little reindeer on this side. There is the moon is here. I do have, like I said, 3 more painted. So we could put another one over on this side. I think this spot is a little too small right here, but we could put one up higher right here between the lighthouse and the moon if we wanted to do that. What do you guys think? Should we put this guy in here? Between the moon and the lighthouse. Now, some people say they like just the 3, but Dorothy likes this deer right here. I am sort of ambivalent. Either way will go. It will work. Any other votes? The deer jumped over the moon rather than the cow. So yeah, we can put that deer there. This is sort of supposed to be Christmassy, so it's not specifically Christmassy, but the deer are like Christmas deer, like Santa's deer, so they're flying through the sky. So we definitely could put this one here. So there's without. Let's raise it up so you can see it better. There's without. See what I mean about my yellow bled? And put you in place. Here's with. I'm getting 2 different ways of being, but I think we have more votes for with. So let's trim this guy and we'll put him in place. He's going to go right here by the moon. Now, if I'd realized I was going to put that on there, I would have moved my moon back a little bit, but I didn't. So I think he's pretty well set. Yeah, he's sticking pretty good now. To clean the threads out of my glue here. Okay, now let's get you in place, little guy. Didn't want to do that, but oh well. There we go. You can kick up his feet a little bit. So now we have to let these guys dry, and I am going to have to do some cleanup on this one. This one had some cleanup. Now that we're got to the point where we're at the end, it should be dry enough. So I'm going to see how dry it is near the acorn here and see if I can get some of this excess glue that I dropped down here off. It's a runnel right there. Come on, you. Now, this E6000 is the transparent. It comes in white and transparent. I always look for the transparent or clear, as it says on the packaging, because, well, I don't want it to dry white. Maybe if I was doing snow, but I don't want it to dry white. So you could just leave the extra. It just leaves a shiny spot, more or less. But I try to get it clean as much as possible. When you mess with it, it does go a little white looking, but it will go back to clear as it dries. A little bit right there I want out. Come on. Okay, here we go. This one is the newest. It's not ready to be cleaned. I'm not even sure the cement's ready to be cleaned yet, but it might not have anything that needs cleaning. Nope, it's looking pretty good. So this one doesn't need cleaned. It's finished. This one's now finished, and this needs some cleanup, and it'll be finished. And Dorothy wanted to know how much this one would cost. Let's see. Now this is an extra large one, Dorothy. Is that one that you would be able to do? If the price is right, you may take all three. No. So the extra large squirrel, the extra large blank is 65 cents. These pieces are, I think they were a quarter a piece. It might have been a little more than that. Let me check. Flip them back in the bag again, but they should be close to the top. I try to write the prices on things anymore when I get them, because otherwise I forget. Okay. Yep. Quarter a piece for the filigree. So that'd be 50 cents. Now, I had the base pieces here. These are $1 a piece for the branch. So $2. The acorns are 28 cents a piece. So that's 56 cents. And the squirrel is really reasonable, 59 cents for this squirrel. I think that's everything. Yep. Where's my calculator? Where did I put my calculator? There it is. So that's $4.30 times 2 is $8.60. I don't know how much time it took. So these ones I usually just do the times 4 because I don't keep track of the time, and I know we've been on for an hour and a half, and so I could specifically say each one was half hour, but they weren't. I know they weren't. So if I went by the half hour business, that'd add another $15 to it. It's cheap. I think it's pretty much cheaper to go this way. So that'd be $17.20. So this one would be $18 for the squirrels would be 18. Yes, I know. You want the squirrel and the reindeer? Okay, the squirrel is $18 before shipping and handling. The reindeer, this is a large. This is an extra large. Like I said, see the difference in size? This one's going to carry a lot more hair than this one is. We still have to clean up this one. The reindeer is the blank for the large is 50 cents. Then we have the moon, the lighthouse, and 4 deer. I can never keep track of these prices, so I have to look them up. The moon is 42 cents. Oh, I forgot the filigree. We'll get that too. Oh, those 2 filigrees are what I finished up here, which were, I think they're 20 cents a piece. I have to figure it. The little reindeer are 42 cents a piece. So let's see, 84 and 84 is $1.68. Yep, $1.68 for the deer. And where's my lighthouse? There it is. The lighthouse is only 50 cents. That's a good price for that big lighthouse. And then the filigree, these 2, which I used the last of them in the box, so I need to figure out, get their price out. They're about 20 cents a piece. So, and then this is a 50-cent piece. I get this from a place that almost all their pieces are 50 cents. So it'd be 50, 60, 90 cents for the filigree. So 0.5 plus 0.42 plus 0.5 plus 1.68 plus $4 even. We already know what that one's going to be. $4 even is going to be 16 bucks. So $16 for the reindeer and the lighthouse, and $18, I think I said, for the squirrel. Yep. And that's before shipping and handling. So you want both of these two? Did we want the snowman too? You said all three at one point, so I don't know if you do or not. The snowman is going to be more expensive because these charms were, I think they were like at $2.49 for the two of them. I need to price them for my show anyway. Snowman. $2.49. Blank is 50. Crystal is a quarter. The wreath, where is the wreath? The filigrees are, these are 30 cents a piece. I think that one's 50, so 60. That's $1.10 for the filigree. And the wreath. The wreath is $2. So say, where did I put the calculator? I just had it in my hand. Now see, this one's going to be the most expensive one because of the snowman. It's going to be 25. Well, that's 25.36, but I'm not going to go that high. I'll make it be 25. But so anyway, it's going to be 25 for this guy, 16 for this guy, and 18 for this guy. Now, see how the difference in the how much the pieces cost to change the price, and that's because these snowmen were $2.49. If they hadn't been that much, then it wouldn't have been that much. So it's just a matter of what I put into things, how much that I have to charge for things. Put my clothespins back over here so they're out of the way. You want these two. Okay, I got to clean this one up. And then, of course, 16 and you're out shipping and handling and stuff. So it's probably going to be about, my guesstimate is going to be it's probably going to be about 42, between 42 and 44 once I figure out all of the shipping and handling and stuff. Dorothy, is that still going to work for you? Come on. Okay. Okay. I think they'll look really pretty in your hair, Dorothy. Or are you buying them for gifts? Are they for yourself? I hope at least one of them is for yourself. Come on, you. Squeeze this little bit of extra glue out of here. This deer filled down crooked when I put it down, so now it's the excess glue is over on this side here. I want to try and get as much of that out as I can. Especially since it's going to Dorothy's house. These little deer are going to fly to Dorothy's house. Give me that blob. There we go. How you guys looking? Got a little bit on your bum. There we go. Okie dokie. Dorothy, they'll have to dry for a while. And because they have to dry for 24 hours. So I'm not going to pack them up for you till tomorrow, but I will send your invoice out to you today. Like I said, it's probably going to be about 44. Thank you, Bonnie. Oh, thank you, Heather. You want to add the snowman too? Are you sure? I can do that. It's not a problem, but that one was the most expensive one. Well, let's see. Let's do some figuring for you. So I got the right price for you now still. So Now we're looking at $70. Are you sure you still want to do that? I mean, it's no problem by me. I can send you the bill for $70, but I want to make sure you really want to do that. Okay, so you don't want the snowman right now after all. We're going to go with the 44 for these two, and the snowman is going to stay home. Okie doke. That works. I'll send you an invoice for the 44, and then you can pay for these babies. Now, guys, we've been on for an hour and 47 minutes. So I think it's time to go off, and because Heather should be on, excuse me, hiccups, should be on in just a few minutes. So you have some other stuff going on. Yeah, don't we all? It seems like always something's going on. So the lighthouse and the squirrels are going to go with the reindeer are going to go to Dorothy. The snowman is going to stay here and go in my box for my show. So anyway, they will need to dry for 24 hours before I can ship them. So I'll ship them tomorrow afternoon. Well, I'll get the invoice out for you to you today, and then we'll get I'll get them all ready to ship tomorrow. So and I hope you enjoy them. I really like making the hair barrettes because, well, let's face it, you purchase stuff and online, and half the time it's like, oh, that's not, I did that. No, that wasn't really what I thought it would be. But then other times you get them and go, oh, whoa, that is so much better than what I thought it would be. So if I don't sell it, you might get it later. Okay. Well, it is going, if you don't decide to get it, it will be in my sale on Black Friday weekend. If it doesn't sell, I'll let you know. So anyway, like I said, we're going to go. Heather will be on in 10 minutes. And these have to dry for 24 hours, and then I'll pack them up. We'll see you later. Everybody have a nice day. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you are having a wonderful day and continue. And I will see you tomorrow morning, everybody. Bye-bye.